It certainly is. And I know money has been the topic of the entire conversation, and we understand why, because we're all here to make that money. But when you realize, everyone, who's behind this, again, Brent, Luke, Eric, this isn't funded by you. This is actually funded by Luke and Eric out of their own pocket, ensuring that Spectrum NFT is going to be a win-win regardless for us investors. So, I mean, we have a lot to look forward to. And with Spectrum NFT being arguably one of the biggest launches to date for us, we're super excited to identify, Brent, what exactly makes this NFT marketplace different from all of the others?
There are a number of very unique features that we've baked into the Spectrum product. I'll rattle off just a couple of them, and some of this I've shared both at DLT Lounge in London as well as at the Tape London nightclub. That was fun. Shout out to everybody who was there. And if you weren't there, hopefully you're there next time. But some of the features are really unique, and I'll unpack one for you. One of the unique aspects that we've tried to bring philosophically is that we want to be a community focused product. There's so much in the NFT space that is, buy low, sell high, trade it, swap it, let's get it out the door. You buy it on these on the out in the wild, right, on OpenSea or wherever, um, and you get what you get, and you're done, right? Move on. What we wanted to put into Spectrum is more of a kind of a generosity component, right? We wanted to be able to help other artists, help other organizations through the process, but leave the decision of who to help up to the creator, because there's so many of you out there that are designers, and you've got a vision for what you want to create, and at the same time you don't really have a path to get to it, right? So you're looking for that path to get into the market. We wanted to make that pathway available, so we've created what we're calling is the a collection specific marketplace. So what that means is we'll help an artist moving forward in their career, right? And they want to they need that opportunity to jump in to a space that can support them, and that's what we're building. So this will allow the individual creator to come to us, and we will assist in whatever aspect they need, whether it's social media development, a storyline behind their creation, some assistance in actually developing some art for them. We're bringing on artists, so if you're a creator out there, hit me up. And we want to help individuals, move forward in that regard. So it goes a couple ways, and we also want to allow that individual to share in their good fortune. Okay, so we've created what we're calling the multi-share wallet. And not only are we helping the artists get from point A to point B in the marketplace, but then we're also helping them share in their revenue stream if they so choose. So, in that generosity philosophy moving forward, we allow the artists to distribute a percentage of their revenue that they receive on their NFT sales to up to 20 separate wallets, right? So, for instance, if you want to support, you're in the States, you want to support St. Jude Children's Hospital, right? You can drop in their wallet. Every sale, every piece of your NFT, they'll get a percentage on the sale and also in the royalties down the road. So it's really a way to guarantee generosity, and not only for the recipients to be phenomenal, right? But also you as a creator to be able to have that power to just automatically just put in literally smart contract you're giving, right? And or maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's another charity, or up to 20 charities or 20 family members. So those kind of opportunities we baked into the Spectrum mindset, our philosophy, and ultimately into our code, so that you as creators have the authority over your artwork and the capacity to share it as you see fit. So those are just a couple things. I hope that answers your question, Jordan. There's a lot of other things, um, but ultimately, some of those tools we believe will really pay back great dividends across the board. So that's part of that. That
And
was a
you know,
long answer. I
no, no,
apologize.
no, it's fine. Because when you have such passion, when you have a masterpiece that you've been working on for months, to summarize it in a matter of minutes becomes an impossible task. And everyone, this isn't the last time you're going to hear from Brent. You know, you're really going to get to know who this great man is. You know, he is off, I was going to say off camera, off mic, a good man. And I can't wait for people to see what I see in you, Brent. And that multi-share wallet, hey, you're welcome. And that multi-share wallet speaks to your character. And I just want to pull that out one more time for everyone. Why should we care as a community about that multi-share wallet?
Well, let me go a step back, and because I will not take credit for that. Okay, I would love to because it's phenomenal, but the guy who gave it to me, his name is Luke, and he said, "Hey, I want to do this." Now, granted, he told me while he was in Greece, I believe, or on vacation. I'm not sure, and he just threw it at me in the middle of the storm. But when it hit me, I went, "Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal!" So, I'm not going to take credit for that fantastic idea. That is all Luke Sullivan right there. And when you ask what features, those are features, but that's Luke's personal request. He said, "Can we do this?" And I said, "Yeah, we can do this." And off we went to the races. I said, "It's a freaking fantastic idea," and it just it fits my personal ethos, but at the same time, what a cool idea! Just so pretty exciting. Um, but to answer your question, well, what was your question? Sorry, bro. I skipped it off there.
No, 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 it's fine. It was,
Why would
why should the community be passionate, the same passion you have about this multi-share wallet?
Well, it's it gives creators the opportunity to bless people in their lives, right? Ultimately, and at the same time, they can enact their generosity across the board. If you have friends that could use a boost, and you're a successful NFT guy, off you go to the races. You can help anyone you choose. And there's why should we care about it as a community? Well, because we're a community, right? And that's what we do. That's what I've noticed in the Phoenix community since I've been part of it. I'm a nest holder, and it's been exciting. I follow everybody's conversations across the board, and it's really cool to see. And I've read some of the stories of what PCC has done in the lives of individuals, and it's pretty powerful stuff, guys. So my hope is that same spirit lives in Spectrum, carries the Spectrum and Phoenix ethos, and because they're in the same direction, and we just continue to push that. That would be my greatest hope, that we reflect that same community value set that I've seen in across the board so far. So there's a lot of projects coming too, and to have an NFT marketplace in your pocket is it's a pretty powerful tool to have in a DeFi organization. So we can unpack some more of that later. But you have another question, I'll be happy to shut up because I'm talking too much.
No such thing. Hey, Brent, this is your dojo. I reminded you that at the beginning. All right. I'm a guest. We're all guests, and we're meeting you. So you take your time with it. And that ethos and that community aspect definitely has carried over here, and you are leading from the front. So there is no doubt about that. Now we get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty. You touched upon the multi-share wallet, and that's definitely one of the many exciting features that Spectrum offer. However, what does Spectrum NFT offer as a whole? For example, lower gas fees, etc.
Oh yeah. Well, as you know, we're built on the AVAX chain. Those of you that do not know this, we're Avalanche. So um, our fees are considerably lower. In some of our test runs we've done, depending on the traffic at the given moment, it's well over less than half. Sometimes 60% less in a minting fee, which is pretty astounding. So yeah, to be able to reduce our gas fees again just puts more back in the artist's pocket. We have a standard 2.5% rate like everybody else because we've got to cover those transactions as well. And then again we've got with the multiple wallets allows the flexibility um, uh, that the artist has, the creator, in distributing their income and puts it back in their hands, right? What their earnings they can distribute however they choose, and again, really make a difference in the community. So, um, and an NFT in and of itself is so much more than a JPEG, right? And the potential for what NFTs are, well, even what they're doing today is mind blowing, and some of the new elements that the NFT marketplace is open to. Um, Everything from tangible real world assets, to fractionalized fine art. It's incredible, and who was it? I believe it was Nike just came out with their new NFT sneakers, right? So there's so much happening
Wow.
in the space. So and we have yet to unpack it. We really do. I feel like sometimes that we're just climbing up on the Apollo for the first time, and we just haven't quite unpacked exactly all that the NFT universe is opening. So it's exciting to have a tool like this in the Phoenix sphere, wholly owned and wholly funded by PCC. That's a powerful piece of equipment to have in your pocket. It's like I liken it to having your own oil field, if you will, right? You just can crank it out, and whatever the market brings to your door, Spectrum NFT will be able to handle that and partake in that profit share. So it's pretty cool. We're pretty stoked on this end. Let me tell you, because the capacity and the impact that this can have in the DeFi ecosystem of PCC alone, not to mention just in the broad marketplace, is going to be really great. It's going to keep our revenues in house, and it's going to keep our revenue generation well into the future. So yeah, again, lots
And
happening.
Brent, that
Yes.
excitement, I understand because we recently announced a very exciting partnership with a two-time world heavyweight boxer, Shannon Briggs. Please do us the short honor of who is Shannon Briggs and what you can share with us, what his relationship is with Spectrum NFT. I say that with a big smile on my face.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go, champ, right? Shannon Briggs, former world heavyweight champion. He's the guy that ended Lennox Lewis's career. That was pretty wild story for those of you that are in the boxing circles. But Shannon, he's a powerhouse of a human being, let me tell you, and excited to have him on board. We're going to be releasing a series of NFTs for the former boxing champ. He is already talking Spectrum. We're sponsoring his comeback tour, and he's getting ready to get back in the ring. So it's going to be an interesting thing. At the same time, he's kicking out a series of NFTs that have different levels of utility. We can talk about those another time once the ink is dry and we've got it all figured out. But a lot of exciting things there, yeah. And there's a lot more. We've got some very famous artists. I say very in their specific set. We've got talented illustrators from around the world. I mean, it's going to be quite a unique collection of collections, right? when you see what's coming out. So, and there's room for more. So those of you that have a set of NFTs ready to roll, or you want to get there, be sure to get ready, because when we fire that on your mark pistol shot, it's going to be a race. So we'll keep everybody apprised on what's going to happen when we kick it off. But exciting times, yeah. Shannon he's going to be well, I'm sure we'll see some more on Twitter with Shannon Briggs shortly. Just appeared on Barstool Sports. You can take a look at that. That interview's up on Twitter as well. He gave us a shout out, so it's going to be fun.
It sure is. Brent, I can only imagine what's happening with your phone right now. All I'm going to say.
You hear all the bells?
So if you could just mute for a second, I can only imagine it's super distracting. And I'm hoping towards the end of this you can share some of that news. In the meantime, though, what's beautiful about what you and your team are doing at Spectrum NFT is you're managing to merge cultures together. You mentioned, of course, you've got some marvelous artists as well coming to the platform, not disregarding what the celebrity partnerships can do in different industries like sports and entertainment, but also who truly is at the core of artistic beauty. It's a fine balance, and I generally believe Spectrum NFT has struck it. So now when we move over to the community questions,
okay,
what everyone wants to know. And so we'll start with the first one, and it's a proper degen way they've asked it, WEN. When white paper and when website?
when white paper? White paper is under review right now, and should have that in about 2 weeks. I'm guessing we'll be able to put that up. We've got some work to do on our end to wrap up some of that. A bunch of last minute changes on some of the feature sets, things like that. So,
of course, that's natural.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that, but it's on its way.
And Brent, I don't know if you know, but I believe 291 people have just set a reminder 2 weeks at UK time, 10:30, for that white paper website to be live. So you've done that yourself.
Well, we do. I didn't say website. You stuck website in there. I said white paper.
Oh, okay. I'll let you off. See, everyone, I'm in your corner. Okay, I might work for PCC, but
awesome. Let me address it. Everybody wants to know when we're going to go live. We've got some. Our goal is and has been May 15 to have our MVP up and running in its full beta. And we'll keep that initial launch probably to this small room of friends. And we won't go out on the news wires until we're fully debugged. I hope everybody understands that, because we want to make sure that everything's functional.
Of course.
We're cranking away on the final pieces of the smart contract as we speak. In fact, I got the last commit this morning at right around 10:15 Central Time. So that commit is under review and being deployed. And then once we verify that, it goes off to audit, and that's going to take about a 10-day period. And our hope is that while our audit is running and no grief is found, we will be ready to pull the trigger before the end of the month. So my goal is to be up and running before the end of May. So right now, it looks like a very doable thing, barring UFO alien invasions or something. I think we'll be in good shape. So we've chiseled all the pieces we can into place, and it's moving forward very, very well. So very nice. I hope you guys really do like it when you see it. It's by artists for artists. It's designed to look a lot better, if you will, than I say better. That's kind of heady, but we just wanted to look different than a database, right?
Yeah.
Than a WooCommerce shopping cart like everybody else looks. So there's going to be aspects to it that are very familiar and part of the structure of NFT purchase navigation. There just has to be, but we want to make it look. We wanted it to be a nice place, and not only functional but affordable, generous in nature, and with great capacity for future build outs. So those are kind of the fundamentals, and that's what we're hoping to hit here on launch one. So that's again before the end of May. We'll be apprising everybody, I'm sure, because after this AMA, there's probably going to be about 20 million more questions. But I'll do my best to answer everything, guys. So is that good, Jordan? Is that a good answer?
That certainly is, but hey, I'm not the one that you need to be asking. I think most importantly, Brent, we are our toughest critics at times. I say we, us as individuals, human beings. We all want things to move faster, especially in crypto. It's reiterated all the time. And so we need to understand that these things take time, but what helps us during that period is understanding what's happening in the background. And so it's a breath of fresh air, Brent, that you reveal that entire process for us. So rest assured, any reasonable investor is going to be patient. Now,
Well, let me interject something here, if you don't
please,
mind, George.
please.
I appreciate everybody's interest more than you know, and each one of you guys, your interest in Spectrum. I hope you pull for it, and help us get from point A to point B. The Phoenix community is awesome, has been awesome. It's been really cool to see everything that's happened, and I think it's important that as we're moving forward, and there is a level of concern, but you know, um, guys, this is like a freebie from Luke and Eric. I can't stress that enough. This didn't come out of investment pool, right? So the benefits here are really quite spectacular to the Phoenix community. So I know I've said that a couple times already, but I really want to reiterate it and make sure we understand, because we're moving as fast as we can, not from community pressure, but we're building an enterprise level product because of pressure from the men who have paid for it. You know, and that's these guys are right in the dirt with us. They're asking the questions. They're involved. I mean, as you know, like I mentioned, Luke is still coming up with concepts, right? And fantastic multi-share wallet product is just fantastic. This kind of thing. So these guys are in the mix for everybody, for all of us, and we're accountable to them primarily. Spectrum is, so be aware of that. We understand the impact that it's going to have on each one of you that have been part of the Fire community. Um, you know, at the same time, we understand that the impact is really in in the wallets of Eric and Luke, as they've funded this this enterprise level production. It's not been cheap, guys. So anyway, I'm getting hit by a thousand phone calls. So go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah, Brent, and feel free to take those phone calls. We've got two more questions.
Okay.
I've seen some of the big news that has just come through. Sadly, we're not going to announce it because we're not ready to share that just yet. I can't wait for us to. So, Brent, you take those calls, get your feet underneath you with what's just been shared in our little group chat. I'll tee you up in just a moment, because what's really insightful is, again, we come back to an enterprise level project, right? We cannot disregard that the term startup, the term incubator, the term launch can often be synonymous, related to something that's amateur. And this is far, far, far from it. Brent alluded to the fact of how much money has gone into just getting Spectrum NFT up and going in the back end. What I want everyone to kind of reminisce on, if you were part of Phoenix Community Capital back in December, early January, you'll remember when we had 30 people in the audience. Then the next AMA, we had 100. And then the next two. We've got just under 300 people in this audience right now. And Subjectively, that may feel big, that may feel small. This is our first AMA. Just like Phoenix Security Capital, we're 5 months in. And now, on average, we get 1,000 people attending. If you're listening right now, we thank you because you've voted with your time. And time's one thing you can't get back. Just look at the icons on this screen right now. You're going to miss a lot of these in the future because there's going to be an awful lot of more people in here. And it's going to be our duty and responsibility to establish the culture. For example, in the PCC server, our original Flame members, roughly about the first 300, they really do dictate the tone, our moderators as well. And I want everyone in here to take ownership of that. Like, you have to make this your own. That comes with responsibility. I know Brent's going to be a very active member in his own Discord. And that open door policy will slowly close as he gets busier. We've seen it with Luke and Eric, right? As these companies grow and become more successful, time becomes the most scarce resource. So whilst you have access to the CEO of Spectrum NFT, make the very most of it. And I know most of you are, and I'm preaching to the choir, but you've seen it already. 5 months in at PCC, even me getting hold of Luke and Eric, it's like a Christmas present. So whilst we've got Brent here, it's a true honor. And Brent, I know you're handling a lot of exciting news right now. Are you ready to come back for me to ask you 2 final questions?
Okay, I'm back. Ask away.
Good. Excellent. So, will artists be able to mint their own art on Spectrum NFT?
Yes.
Next question.
More affordable.
Let's not miss that point. So it's a yes and
much more affordably than some of our competitors.
I like that. And here we try not to speak badly about our competitors, but Brent, I think you've alluded enough there. Yes, and it will be much more affordable than the existing opportunities. Now, we've got one final question here. After this, I know you need to take one of those important calls and come back to us. So, final question. How many artists are you expecting to have on the marketplace when it goes live, Brent?
That is a fantastic question. We have, I would say, over 35 collections right now that are in commit. And we haven't really opened the doors in a broad announcement or invitation to artists. There's been a few small tweets that we put out. We're not, because we don't have a lot of traffic at this point. So some of our info is going out that way to this community. We have received several submissions that are under review. We've got, there's a lot that has to be reviewed in any one of these. This isn't, we can't just open the doors, right? We want to take a look at what's going on because there's a curation process that we have to go through and approval. But the listing will be open to the public and they'll be able to list out. And once we've reviewed their collections, we'll be jumping on. Now, if my emails are any indication, we will have hundreds of artists. But I don't want to tell you that because some of those artists we might say, sorry, that's not appropriate or whatever the case may be, right? So I would say that what we reviewed to this point is about 35 collections that have some very distinctive value, but that's going to be beta level. And then again, when we open the doors, we'll have hundreds and hundreds pretty quick. So especially once the word gets out and we're actually live and running. So again, we want to go through the process of not only curation, but debugging. We want to make sure that we have a high quality product that doesn't have any issues. There's no wallet issues. There's no transaction issues. These are all things that have to be double checked. And I'm sure each and every one of you would want your transactions to be accurate without flaw. And so that's our primary goal. And until I can say that, I'm not gonna be a happy person. So that's the day-to-day grind right now. Security. And and this is value. This is crypto, so it has a stewardship factor that we want to make sure that we're cognizant of moving forward. So if that answers that question.
It certainly does. And it's one of those questions where the answer, like you said, security, before we take on such a high demand, is I always compare it to when you've got good plumbing. You don't know if it's not working until you have a leak under the sink. Shout out to our security officer for that analogy.
All right, that's a good one.
Because it's not
So,
sexy.
Jordan,
Yeah.
briefly, I took a quick call just a few seconds ago when you were saying nice things about me. I appreciated those things, by the way. Um, and can you remember that thing we were talking about that you were dying to talk about? Well, you can talk about it.
Well, that thing, but not the other thing, but that thing.
Well, the one thing, let me say one thing before we talk about the other thing. Um, Um, Shannon Briggs is actually going to be on Joe Rogan, so that's going to be fun. He's going to give us a Spectrum plug on Joe Rogan. What? Okay, so now we have to have a really fast launch. So that's awesome. And so that's one thing coming up. That's going to be pretty exciting to see that interview. And we're going to get the shout out. I love it. I'm so excited about this kind of stuff. Um, and that other thing, Jordan, I'm not going to. No, I know you worked hard on this thing, so that's all you, baby. Let's hear about the other thing.
Oh, I
Give me
love
some.
this game. I really do love this game because we had this, of course, this announcement lined up. And we're talking in the background. We're talking in the background. Everyone's like, do we talk about it? Do we share it? Do we not share it? So, Brent, thank you for telling the world that we're going to have a plug on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Rest assured, everyone, it's my life goal to get on that show. So once Shannon's off, you heard it here. Do you want to know how he's going on? And I'll give everyone else a shout out. But in the meantime, we have some formal breaking news. We have a new collection coming to Spectrum NFT, and of course, all of you want to know who that individual is. So today, Spectrum NFT is proud to announce Sol Bamba, who is an Ivorian soccer player, because I know we've got an international audience here, who joined Spectrum NFT. He played for PSG and most recently Middlesbrough, a EFL Championship team. That's the second tier of English soccer. And in October 2021, he remarkably overcame non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a form of cancer, to continue his career in the championship at the age of 36. Remarkable, to say the least. The simple fact that he is still playing professional football with some of the best players in the world is mind-boggling. The hardest bit about his treatment started because of the decline in his physical ability. So as Bamba went through mixing emotions and facing some of the top centre forwards in elite level soccer to scarcely leaving his bed as the drugs got to work. So not only does he bring star power to Spectrum NFT, I mentioned, of course, Brent is a remarkable human being. I believe Sol Bamba as well is a remarkable human being. And we're going to make sure that we bring him closer to all of you. He's had a 15-year professional soccer career, and he leaves Middlesbrough for his next club. We are very proud to have this soccer legend joining us. Brent, any final words before we close out?
You know what to touch on Saul's story. What a thing. And I'm so excited just to be um, in a project that has the capacity to really change this guy's life. I mean, while he was going through his struggle, you can imagine what that did to his income and his personal wealth. I mean, it had to hurt, right? I mean, you can't play anymore. And I don't know, many of you have seen in the past some of the greatest sports heroes and some of the most astounding members of our culture, right? That have hit hard times and kind of disappeared. And it's unfortunate. And again, my belief is that we have a fantastic opportunity to impact those that we care about, that have been part of our life, our culture, some great artists, some talents, some musicians that have had great impact, right? The market can kind of be rough on some of us creator types, as you may have experienced, right? And what I'm excited about with Spectrum is that it really puts the power of the artist back in the hands of the artist, and it allows you to strike out on your own, with your own entrepreneurial efforts, with your own talents, your God-given talents, and show the planet, build a story, tell a tale, create art, create animations, video, music, anything that expresses who you are, and to build a platform to help each and every one that wants to be involved, is just a great honor for me. It really is. And to really, open doors around the world, if you will, um, because the internet is everywhere, right? At least for the most part. Technology hasn't reached everything. News hasn't reached every end of the world, but there are fantastic artists around the planet, overseas, um, that we're reaching out to. One of our primary marketing pieces is north, south, east, and west. We want to bring in art from around the world and give them a platform, to um, not only generate some personal income, but to express themselves and introduce the rest of the world to just absolutely beautiful art that has yet to be really seen, promoted, marketed. Right? We have some incredible artists coming out of Africa, just absolutely mind blowing. The concepts, the stylistic approach. I'm so excited to be anyway to be a part of that, and I'm taking everybody's time, but that's just kind of my heart, guys, and to be able to see this come together, and just thank all of you for being here and taking the time to listen to me to me tell these tales. So I appreciate it very much, very much, and look forward to really watching what this can do, not only for PCC and its fantastic community, but at the same time, what it can do for artists and talents like Saul Bamba, and Shannon Briggs, right? So, very exciting stuff. And yeah, that's what I've got, guys. I hope this was informative, and I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Jordan.
And we appreciate you, Brent. So, goes without saying, so we look forward to seeing you in the Discord corridors of your own server. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, be present and be grateful. Ciao for now.